Thanks for getting. Oh, you got your IMG shirt on.
I do.
My kid went to IMG. I went to IMG. Could be anywhere. It's been around for a long time. Maria Sharapova went there, and Andre Agassi, right?
He did, and she did as well. Amazing champions, you know.
That's
so Voluntary started a good thing there.
It is. It's a good legacy. And by the way, your son, did your son go there as a tennis player, soccer, basketball, football?
Yeah, he went there for 4 years. He played soccer. So he was there for 4 years playing soccer. And,
wow.
You know, a lot of people think of the sports, but the academics was really good. So it's like really a private institution. So the education was really good as well.
That's neat. And soccer is one of those where they play all over the world starting at 16, 17. How old was Pele?
Wow, he started early, Pele. He was such an amazing, you know, player and goal scorer. But I believe, he started at 14, 15. And yeah.
Very young. Well, thank you for getting on the Zoom chat with me. First thing Monday morning is when I pull up all the numbers. But something happened Friday in the mortgage market that I thought was startling and shocking and to me unexpected with FHA. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was shocking. And, you know, for people not realizing or people that are shopping for a mortgage, the interest rates went up 0.25 a quarter on Friday. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mae, the regulators, they came out and they said that anybody doing a refinance, they were going to charge 0.5% or, you know, half of a point for a refinance. So on $300,000, that's $1,500. And they're starting it September 1st. So all the people that were in the pipeline that weren't locked in and their interest rate wasn't locked, the interest rate just went up for them. And unfortunately, it's going to pass to the consumer. The lenders won't pay for it. Originally, they'll have to pay for it. And some big banks are going to lose tens of millions of dollars because of that. But I'm seeing it now on the purchase side. So people that were looking for a home on Monday and were quoted one rate, on Friday, it's a different rate. Still historically low, so it's not all bad news, but they did go up.
Okay, so thank you for that. And it's good to get this information out first thing Monday because, and I pull the numbers up every Monday morning. The average home price in Sarasota is $280,183. That's actually, and I'm going to say that whole number because it's down in the last 30 days by 0.95%. Again, not that big of a deal, but when we watch movement week by week and report on it, it gives people an understanding of, should I do something now? Should I wait? Folks like you and I who stay on top of the market and the numbers, we're the ones that are going to help you make that decision so the groundwork is laid for a good decision. In Manatee County, the average price was $287,190. So in the last 30 days, that was a 0.18% increase. So in those two average price points for the people who closed business in the last 7 days, they had that lower interest rate. And at that price point, if I understand what we've been talking about, that's a swing of approximately, what is it, $5,000 or $10,000 in buying power in the neighborhoods?
It is about a $5,000 or $10,000 in buying power because it's about, you know, $4 to $5 per thousand. So when these interest rates go up a little bit, it does affect how much home you could buy. Again, it's still down more than 1% from where we were last year. So overall, you're still able to get into that new home that we've been talking about in those nice new neighborhoods. So it's still a great time to buy it. You know, I think about the pandemic and everything that everybody's going through and all the uncertainty. And if you look at the prices that you've been reporting on, it's almost like what pandemic? In other words, the market's red hot, right? And, you know, things are flying off the shelf and buyers have to be prepared that when they see something, they're ready to, you know, make an educated decision. And that's where you help them.
That's a nice groundwork that we set for folks. And for the outside news sources that aren't reporting facts the way we are and information and couching it in a way to help someone make a good decision for themselves based on their motivation and this opportunity, the 20 and 30-year-olds that are buying at this price point in this area have jobs, and usually are married. We're taking into consideration both incomes. And we have a number of national builders in the area that are building homes below these price points so that these first-time home buyers can get in, establish themselves, have jobs in the area that they live, be near their parents and their grandparents. We're great for multi-generational, aren't we? Number one in the country. As a matter of fact, we can't say that too often. And there's a lot of urban economics that go into that. So each person who's currently renting and paying between $900 and $1,800 a month, we have house payments like that. Now, so that $5,000 swing means to somebody who's saving up for that mortgage, that's a lot of money. However, it's August 17th, 2020, for anybody who's watching, and it's Monday when we film this. You could be watching this on Thursday or Friday, but Monday the 17th, 2020, and everyone we're going to talk to today, the massive amount of first-time home buyers as an example, but that $5,000 swing now means that we can still get them in by Valentine's Day, but they're going to have to communicate to their family like, hey folks, until we move into this house, we're going to pare back a lot of consumer spending. And that comes into, if somebody's a second-time home buyer or buying a second home, they've already got that under wraps. That first-time home buyer gets that equity and that financial planning from us as well. And helping them save that money is having that conversation. What are the first 5 or 6 things you say to the first-time home buyer when you're getting them ready for that down payment and now maybe an extra $5,000 in buying power?
Well, we just had a great example with a first-time home buyer who works 2 jobs, and he was tired of paying rent, and he wanted a nice, what he called a safe place to come home to and pride of home ownership. And he didn't have all the money for the 3.5% down payment, but with his 2 jobs, just like you said, Sandra, he was able to pare back on some of that spending. We were able to put him on a budget, and we looked at his money that he had coming in, and we put him on an 8-week plan. Okay, and that 8-week plan, he was able to save up enough for the down payment. A lot of other people, we ask them if they have any family members. We're multi-generational, so sometimes mom, grandmom, grandpa, they're able to give the first-time home buyer a gift, and the gift could be used for down payment as well. So there's plenty of ways to get into a home. But I always tell people too, don't open up any new credit. So in other words, when you're buying a home and you're shopping for a home, I know you're watching TV, the new sexy car dealership ads come on. Now's not the time to buy a new car. Now's not the time to open up any credit because that counts against your debt to income ratio. And a lot of first-time home buyers, we have to make sure that we keep your total liabilities under 49%. That means 49% of what you make gross can go towards your new house payment and all your bills. And if you're looking to get into a beautiful home, and qualify for the home that you really want, it's important to keep your debt down. So that's 2 of the most important conversations that we have, Sandra.
And you counsel them on if they have that lump sum of money, and that credit analyzer tool that you have helps them understand where they can make the biggest impact. What should they pay off? What should they take care of, right?
Now, that's amazing. So I have a young man right now, a family. Both of them have a 580 credit score, and that's poor by today's standards. We need to get that up to a 640. So rather than just send them away without a plan, we put them on a 9-week plan. I'm able to tell them what to pay down for these eight different bills, and their score is going to go up over 660. So now here they are 9 weeks from now, they'll be able to buy one of those new homes that you're talking about. So it really is a nice tool.
That's so exciting because of the encouragement that we can give them. Hey, by New Year's, right? Easily by New Year's, we can have you moved into that fabulous new home. And if you enjoy having barbecue with all your friends and family, the day after you move in, that's the day to have the party. And it's a goal, and it's specific, it's step by step, because New Year's is going to happen no matter what, right?
It is, and you just really put me in that place. And I was thinking of my first home and how exciting that would be to, you got the keys to your new home, you're having the barbecue, your friends and family are coming over, so much pride and so much joy. And yeah, listen to the plan. We know what we're doing. And, if you really want to buy a home, I believe there's never been a better time. There's so many great things. And even though the rates are up a little bit, they're still below 3%. So think about it. The interest rate is below 3% for a 30-year fixed mortgage. That's pretty amazing.
That's never before happened in our lifetime. Now,
No.
I didn't go and study the history of mortgages, but there's probably not a time like we're experiencing. It's just a wonderful opportunity to go for it. And the nice thing that we're seeing in our marketplace is still a lot of activity, what we call a lot of absorption. In the last 7 days, we had in Sarasota County 219 sales, of which 132 were single family homes. So the majority of our sales in Sarasota County are single family homes, and it's the same in Manatee. We had 202 sales, of which 135 were single family home. You and I both know that those single family homes, we can calculate and give that grace factor for that homeowner, because we don't have to also add on into the mortgage the condo fees. So if it's a neighborhood that has condo fees, there's easily dollar for dollar a clear benefit in all these neighborhoods. We're very refined in our services and negotiating for all the services that come in the area. But if that $5,000 is going to make a difference to you, a lot of times you're going to have to come back from a condo proposition and to a single family home. And some of our single family home choices now are built and resemble a villa or two-story next to each other. And so the middle units don't have windows and the end units have windows. And there's always a nice value opportunity for having those end windows. And they are a little bit more expensive and usually about 100 square feet more. But because the builders put this firewall in between for insurance purposes and deed purposes, it is well to examine that opportunity. It's a single family home, and that value proposition is there for you, and your money goes a long way. In the last 7 days, of course, in both counties, we only saw that in the MLS reported by the builders 12 sales. And I've seen some, and we think that is very underreported. They're just so busy. There's a neighborhood over in Palmer Ranch that there were approximately more than 100 homes, and they, from start to finish in the last 12 months, that they sold. So that's 100 homes in 365 days easily. And they're backed up. The national builders are not lacking supplies. So any window manufacturers that shut down temporarily are affecting the smaller builders. They're not affecting the national builders. And so I still think those are very strong numbers, and people are getting moved in and taking advantage of our top-notch schools and our top-notch services, aren't they?
They are. We have great schools here in Sarasota. I just saw we were 2 in the whole state of Florida, in public education. That's amazing. You mentioned Pineview last week, #1 in the nation right here in Sarasota County. So our schools are amazing. Our culture is amazing. Sarasota Beach, Siesta Key just got voted #1 beach. So there's so many, awards and accolades coming to here. We've always known it. So I've been in Sarasota my whole life. It used to be like a little sleepy fishing village, and now it's really booming, and we got so many great things to do. But yeah, you're right. And talking about condominiums and single family homes, a lot of our first time home buyers, you mentioned the condominium fee, but for example, a condominium fee of $400 counts against your debt to income ratio. So for example, that actually equates to about $80,000 more house that you could buy and have the same payment. So you could buy a $200,000 condominium, okay, your payment, this isn't exact, this is just for example, and your payment, for example, is $1,500. You could buy a $280,000 single family home, one of those new homes that you're talking about, and have the same payment, $1,500. So a lot of people don't realize it. They go condominium thinking, well, I'm going to buy it because it's cheaper, it's less expensive. The reality is, if you add in all the fees, they're very comparable. You can get more, like you said, you can stretch your dollar a little further on a single family home.
That's exciting. And I see that The news that changed last week is probably going to create a very busy week for you this week. For the folks who were considering refining their FHA, what are you going to counsel them? What are you going to say to them? It's still very, very low. It's only $1,500, and couch it based on what they're looking at.
It's a good point. So a lot of lenders, Sandra, they're going to take that, $1,500 and price it into the rate. So a lot of the people aren't going to, my lights went off. A lot of people aren't going to see that. And then some people are going to see an upfront cost. So it did get more expensive. But when you're refinancing, it's very important to look at the big picture, what your goals are. Do you want to shorten your term from a 30-year to a 20-year and save hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest? Or, are you buying the rate? There's a lot of people I know. I have friends at the country club that, as an example, say they got 2.5 rate, and they say if the rate's 2.875, they paid it down. They bought the interest rate down. So, even though the rate may seem sexy, you have to look at your overall financial picture and see what makes more sense for you. So like I always do, I'm going to give them a total market analysis, Sandra, and come up with the best plan for each person because everybody's different.
They are, and I appreciate you for that. I am around enough of my buyers and sellers and clients I've referred to you to for refi recently, as an example, and they're all extremely thrilled at how much you educated them. And I see in the marketplace not a lot of people bragging about that. What's a good number and way to text you?
The best way to text me is area code 941-724-7653, 941-724-7653.
Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate you, and have a great Monday. We'll see you later.
See you, Sandra. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.